The reconstruction of Germany after the Second World War not only increased prosperity in Germany, but also life expectancy. All over the world, including in Germany, people became older. However, in addition to longer pension payments, old age also leads to ailments that sometimes result in the need for care.
Welcome to YD. Why do Germans do things the way they do?
We are in the 1980s. More and more old people are in need of care. The health insurance companies pay their share, but the additional costs of institutionalization means that many older people have to apply for social assistance when the money is no longer enough. People may have worked all their life and paid into the social security system, but their pension is no longer enough to cover the additional care costs. As early as 1978, the Bayerische Beamtenkrankenkasse was the first insurance company to offer daily care allowance insurance. In the 1980s, the Conference of Health Ministers of the federal states also discussed the development and financing of outpatient and inpatient care services. And in 1986, 16 companies offer private nursing care insurance. At this time, Helmut Kohl's cabinet was still against statutory care insurance. However, the costs for social welfare authorities continue to rise. These authorities are districts and independent cities, as well as supraregional facilities. The costs therefore remained with the federal states and local authorities. For this reason, the federal state of Baden-Württemberg submitted a bill to the Bundesrat as early as 1990. The wall fell and Germany was reunified. In 1994, with effect from the 1st of January 1995, still under Chancellor Helmut Kohl, the 11th book of the Social Code, SGB 11, is passed, which describes the social long-term care insurance on a Levi finance basis. The law has been extended in 2002 with the Long-Term Care Benefits Supplementary Act, in 2012 with the Long-Term Care Reorganization Act, in 2015 with the Long-Term Care Reinforcement Act 1, and in 2017 with the Long-Term Care Reinforcement Act 2. There have been various changes in this, for example, the switch from 3 care levels to 5 care grades. The providers are the health insurance funds, which now also have to offer long-term care insurance. So if you have opted for a statutory health insurance fund, this is also the long-term care insurance fund. Once again, employees and employers are to pay half each into the insurance scheme. In order to ease the burden on employers, a federal bank holiday has been cancelled. The Protestant Day of Prayer and Repentance was cancelled, which led to considerable resentments in the Protestant church. However, as this was always on a Wednesday, it was difficult to combine with a long weekend, such as Corpus Christi. Saxony was the only federal state to retain the public holiday, which in turn means that employees in Saxony pay 0.5 percentage higher contributions to long-term care insurance than employees in the other federal states. Since its introduction, contributions to long-term care insurance have risen from 1% to 3.6%. In addition, there's a special contribution for childless employees of 0.25% between 2005 and 2022 and now 0.6%. In order to be exempt from the special contribution, you need the so-called Elterneigenschaft, parental status. This applies to natural parents, adoptive parents, step-parents, and foster parents. This status is also valid for life, even if the child has grown up or died in the meantime. The reason why you have no children does not play a role in recognizing parental status. While with other insurance policies, it is quite easy to prove that you are now ill, have become unemployed, or have reached retirement age, an application for recognition of the care case requires an examination. We have just gone through this ourselves, and despite the so much bureaucracy in Germany, it is actually quite simple. First, you write to the health insurance company that you would like a review of a care case. Then an appointment is made with a medizinischer Dienst, medical service. A specialist, often from the care services themselves, then comes to the assessment in person and goes through the questionnaire. They look at what the person can do on their own and where help is needed. Attention is also paid to what the person could normally do on their own at that age. If, for example, the person is a child in need of care, then we look at what a child of that age could normally do on their own. Honesty is important in this assessment, as both the person who may be in need of care and often a relative are present. Some people do not want to present the person in a bad light, or the person overestimates themselves. This can lead to the point not being sufficient for a certain level of care. In our case, the employee quickly recognized where the person in need of care was exaggerating and what was appropriate. The suggestions as to what could be done and what she recommended were also good and helpful. At the end, the answers are transferred to a list of points, which is then used to calculate a care level. Depending on the level of care, there is then monetary support either for the family carer or to pay for a care service or care home. Unfortunately, it cannot be assumed that the money will cover all of these costs. Care homes, in particular, are very expensive. The national average is €2,984 per month, with Bremen being the most expensive with €3,766 and Saxony-Anhalt the cheapest with €2,679. For care level 1, which actually requires hardly any care, the care insurance fund subsidy is €131, and for care level 5, where the person can hardly do anything independently, it is €2,096 per month. If you add in the person's possible pension, this may be sufficient. Otherwise, the person's assets, and then, if applicable, the children will be taken into account first. In the end, the person may end up receiving support from social welfare again. In addition to regular payments, there is also material support. For example, a special bed or a rollator, a commode chair or a bath lift. Sometimes even the conversion to a bathroom suitable for the disabled or a stair lift can be supported or paid for in full. The aim is to ensure that the person in need of care can continue to lead a dignified existence and maintain contact with the environment. It may also be that a person comes regularly to take the person in a wheelchair to the market or to church, or simply to take a walk through the park twice a week. Who looks after people in need of care in your country? Remarks, additions, and comments in the comments. Thank you for your attention. See you in the next video.